Lily loved to play. Oh, how she loved it. Her bright red sneakers were always ready for a race, and her laughter echoed through the park as she chased butterflies with her friends, Tom and Daisy. She was usually the first one up the slide and the last one to leave the swings. But lately, something was different. Lily wasn't playing. For many days, Lily had felt a strange tiredness deep in her bones. It wasn't the kind of tired you feel after a long day of fun. This was a heavy, achy tiredness that made her whole body feel weak. Her head often felt fuzzy, and her arms and legs would ache, even when she hadn't done anything. Sometimes it felt like tiny little rocks were inside her muscles, making them hurt with every move. She watched from her bedroom window as Tom and Daisy kicked a soccer ball back and forth in the yard. A sad sigh escaped her lips. She missed the feeling of the sun on her face as she ran, the wind in her hair, and the happy shouts of her friends. Her soccer ball sat sadly in the corner of her room, deflated just like her energy. Her jump rope lay coiled on her bed, untouched. "Are you feeling any better, sweet pea?" her mom asked softly, entering the room with a warm cup of herbal tea. Lily shook her head slowly, her long brown hair swishing. "My legs still feel like jelly, Mom, and my head aches. I just want to play again." A small tear trickled down her cheek. It wasn't fair. All her friends were outside having fun, and she was stuck inside, feeling like a sleepy sloth. She longed to feel strong and bouncy again, to race Tom to the big oak tree, or swing so high her feet touched the sky. But right now, even walking to the bathroom felt like a big effort. The ache was always there, a dull throb that made her just want to lie down and close her eyes. Lily's mom sat beside her on the bed, gently stroking her hair. "I know it's hard, sweetie," she said, her voice soft and full of love. "It's tough when your body doesn't feel right and you miss playing." Just then, Lily's dad walked in, carrying a small, colorful book. He sat on the other side of Lily, taking her hand. "Your mom and I have been thinking a lot about you," her dad began, his eyes kind. "We know you want to feel better, and we want that for you too. Sometimes, when our bodies are tired or hurt, it's not just about medicine or sleeping a lot. It's about something deeper, something special." Lily looked at them, her eyes wide with curiosity, though a little dim from her tiredness. "What do you mean, Dad?" she whispered, her voice raspy. Her mom nodded. "Well, Lilybug, God made our bodies, and He cares for every part of us. Just like He gives us sunny days and rain to help plants grow strong, He also gives us something called healing rest." "Healing rest?" Lily repeated, trying to understand. It sounded nice, like a soft blanket and a quiet room. "Yes," her dad smiled. "It's a special kind of rest that comes from God. It's not just sleeping. It's a feeling of peace and calm that helps our bodies and our hearts get strong again. God loves you so much, Lily. He sees that you're tired and hurting, and He wants to make you feel better. He can heal us not just from the outside, but from the inside too." Quote, "Think of it like this," her mom added. "When you put a tiny seed in the ground, God helps it grow into a big flower, right? Even when we don't see it happening, He's working. It's the same with our bodies. Even when we feel weak, God can put strength back into us, little by little, through His gentle care and rest." Lily thought about the little seed becoming a big flower. It made sense in a way. "So God can help me stop hurting and feel strong enough to play again?" she asked, a tiny spark of hope flickering in her tired eyes. "He absolutely can," her dad confirmed, squeezing her hand gently. "All we need to do is ask Him and trust in His love. He's always listening." Lily looked from her mom's kind face to her dad's gentle smile. The idea of God's healing rest, like a tiny seed growing into a strong flower, made sense to her tired mind. A little bit of hope, like a tiny flicker of candlelight, started to glow inside her. If God could really help her feel better, she wanted to try. "How do I ask Him?" Lily whispered, her voice still soft. Her mom pulled her closer, wrapping an arm around her. You just talk to him, sweetie, like you talk to us. He's always listening, even when we don't hear a big voice back. He hears the quiet whispers of our hearts. Her dad added, You don't need fancy words, Lily. Just tell him what's in your heart. Tell him you're tired and you hurt and you want his healing rest. Lily closed her eyes for a moment. She took a deep breath, trying to gather her thoughts. It felt a little strange, talking to someone she couldn't see, but her parents looked so sure. She remembered all the times they told her God loved her, and how he cared for everything, even the smallest sparrow. If he cared for sparrows, surely he cared for her. She folded her hands together, a familiar gesture from bedtime prayers. Dear God, she began, her voice barely a whisper, but clear in the quiet room. I'm really tired. My body aches, and I miss playing. Please, God, can you give me your healing rest? Please make me feel better and strong again. I trust you. She paused, then added, Thank you, God. It was a simple prayer straight from her heart. She didn't feel a sudden burst of energy or see a bright light, but as she opened her eyes, a quiet peace settled over her. It was like a soft, warm blanket had been draped over her shoulders. She looked at her parents, a small, hopeful smile touching her lips. I asked him, she said, her voice a little stronger. Her mom squeezed her hand. He heard you, Lily. Now let's get you tucked into bed. It's time for some real rest. That night, tucked snugly in her bed, Lily drifted off to sleep, the quiet peace from her prayer still wrapping around her like a cozy blanket. As her breathing deepened, she found herself in a dream, but this was no ordinary dream. It was more real, more colorful, and far more peaceful than any dream she'd had before. She wasn't in her bedroom anymore. Instead, she stood in the most beautiful garden she could ever imagine. The air was soft and sweet, smelling of blooming roses and fresh green leaves. Tall, graceful trees with shimmering leaves reached up to a sky that was a gentle mix of soft pinks, purples, and blues, not quite day, not quite night. Little streams of crystal clear water gurgled happily over smooth, colorful stones, making a soft, calming sound. Everywhere she looked, there were flowers she'd never seen before, in every color imaginable. Bright yellows, deep blues, soft lavenders, and fiery reds, all glowing with a gentle light from within. Butterflies with wings like stained glass fluttered slowly from blossom to blossom, and tiny, sparkling birds sang songs that sounded like lullabies. The most amazing thing was the light. It wasn't sunlight, but a warm, gentle glow that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere all at once. It felt like a soft hug, wrapping around her, filling her with a feeling she hadn't felt in a very long time. Peace. The aches in her body were gone. Her head felt clear and light. She felt as if she could float. As she walked along a path made of soft, mossy grass, she noticed little lights dancing around her feet like tiny fireflies. The air was warm but not hot, and a soft breeze rustled the leaves, making a whispery sound. There was no pain, no tiredness, just a deep, comforting calm. This garden felt safe and full of love. She felt completely at ease, like she was exactly where she was meant to be. Every part of her felt quiet and still, full of a wondrous calm. As Lily explored the wondrous garden, feeling lighter and more joyful than she had in weeks, a soft, comforting sound began to fill the air. It wasn't a loud noise, but like a gentle breeze rustling through leaves, or a warm hum that settled deep in her heart. The light around her seemed to glow even brighter, and the air felt even sweeter. Then a voice, soft as a lullaby and warm as the sunlight, spoke. It wasn't a voice she heard with her ears, but one that filled her whole being. It was kind and full of love, like her parents' voices, but even more so. Rest, little one, the voice murmured. Rest and trust. Quote, Lily stopped walking. She looked around, but saw no one. Yet she knew the voice was meant for her. It felt as though every flower, every tree, and every sparkling stream echoed the words. You have been weary, the voice continued, its words wrapping around her like a comforting hug. Your body has felt heavy, but know this, I am here. God gives strength to the weak. He gives rest to the weary. Quote, Lily closed her eyes, letting the beautiful words sink in. She thought of her aches, the tiredness, and how much she wanted to play. The voice seemed to know exactly how she felt, even without her saying anything. The voice went on, its tone reassuring. I make all things new. Just as the spring makes the sleepy earth fresh and green again, so I can make your body and your heart new. Trust in my love. Trust in my healing. A wave of calm washed over Lily, even deeper than before. It wasn't just peace, it was a feeling of being completely safe and completely loved. The voice reminded her of everything her parents had told her about God's healing rest, but hearing it in this beautiful, peaceful place made it feel even more true. She felt a deep understanding blooming within her, like one of the glowing flowers in the garden. She didn't need to try and fix herself. All she needed to do was rest in this peace and trust that God was working. The thought made her feel lighter than air. The gentle, loving voice in the dream faded slowly, like the last notes of a beautiful song. Lily felt herself drifting, not away from the garden, but deeper into a soft, warm place. The vibrant colors of the flowers softened, the gurgling streams became a distant whisper, and the warm light wrapped her in a final, comforting embrace. Slowly, Lily became aware of her own bed, the familiar scent of her pillow, and the soft morning light peeking through her curtains. She opened her eyes. The room was just as it had been, but Lily felt different. Very different. She took a deep breath, and it felt easy, not like a chore. She stretched her arms above her head, and though there was still a faint echo of the old tiredness in her muscles, it was like a distant memory, not a heavy weight. The sharp aches that had bothered her for so long were gone. Her head felt clear and bright, not fuzzy and heavy. She pushed herself up to sit, swinging her legs over the side of the bed. Her feet touched the cool floor, and she stood up. She didn't feel like jelly. She felt lighter, almost bouncy. A small, amazed smile spread across her face. It was as if a heavy cloak of tiredness had been lifted from her shoulders during the night. Looking out her window, she saw the morning sun painting the sky in soft oranges and pinks. She could hear the chirping of birds outside, a sound she hadn't truly noticed in days. While she wasn't ready to run a race or play a full game of soccer just yet, she could still feel a tiny bit of lingering weariness. A powerful feeling bloomed in her chest. It was hope. Bright, warm, and real hope. She thought of the beautiful garden, the warm light, and the soft, kind voice that told her to rest and trust. It wasn't just a dream, it felt like a promise. A promise that God was indeed making her new, little by little. A quiet excitement began to bubble inside her. She knew, deep down, that she was on her way to feeling truly well again. The day after her special dream, Lily still felt a gentle weariness, but it was nothing like the heavy burden from before. Her parents, seeing the new light in her eyes, were careful not to push her. They encouraged her to spend her time quietly, reading her favorite books, drawing colorful pictures, and listening to soft music. Lily found that even these simple activities felt more enjoyable now, without the constant ache. Each morning, before getting out of bed, Lily would close her eyes and talk to God. She thanked him for the beautiful dream and for the new hope in her heart. She continued to ask for his healing rest, reminding him that she trusted him to make her strong. Her prayers were still simple, but now they were filled with even more thankfulness. As the days turned into a week, Lily noticed amazing changes. On Monday, she could walk around the house without feeling dizzy. On Tuesday, she managed to sit at the kitchen table for a whole meal without needing to lie down afterward. By Wednesday, she could help her mom fold laundry, an activity that would have exhausted her before. Each small step felt like a big victory. The lingering tiredness began to fade like a whisper. The little aches that had been her constant companions grew softer and softer, until they were barely noticeable. It was a slow and gentle process, not a sudden burst, but it was steady. Each evening, as she got ready for bed, she would think about how much stronger she felt than the day before. Her body was slowly, but surely, remembering how to be active and playful. Her parents often found her humming softly to herself, a little bounce in her step as she moved from room to room. She was still resting a lot, but it was a different kind of rest. A rest that felt like recharging, not giving up. She knew the dream, and her prayers were making a real difference. The feeling of hope that had blossomed in her heart was now a steady, warm glow, growing brighter with each passing day. One sunny afternoon, Lily sat with her mom on the porch swing, watching fluffy clouds drift across the blue sky. She felt so much better. Her body felt strong, her mind was clear, and she could even hum a happy tune without feeling winded. "Mom," Lily said, leaning her head on her mother's shoulder, "I'm so glad I prayed to God for healing rest. I feel so different now." Her mom smiled, pulling Lily a little closer. "I'm so happy for you, sweetie. You've been so brave through all of this." "It wasn't like magic, though," Lily mused, thinking about it. "I didn't just wake up one morning and all the tiredness was totally gone. It took a few days, and I still had to rest." "That's a very wise observation, Lilybug," her mom replied. "You've understood something very important about God's healing rest. It isn't always a quick fix, like putting a bandage on a scraped knee and it's instantly better. Sometimes it's a gentle process, like a seed growing into a strong plant, or a tiny bud slowly opening into a beautiful flower." Quote, Lily thought of the flower in her dream glowing with its own light. "So God was working, even when I was still tired?" "Exactly," her mom confirmed. "He was working in your body and in your heart, helping you little by little. He gave you the peace you needed to truly rest, and He slowly put strength back into you. It was a gentle journey, and you did your part by resting and trusting Him." That's what healing rest often means, giving God time to work and trusting that He will make you better in His own perfect way and time. Lily nodded. It made perfect sense. She remembered the quiet peace that came after her prayer and how that peace helped her sleep deeply. She remembered the warm, loving voice in her dream, telling her to rest and trust. It wasn't about a sudden switch, but a loving, patient hand guiding her back to health. She felt a deep understanding, like a puzzle piece finally clicking into place. God wasn't a magician, but a loving Father who cared for her slowly and gently. A week later, the sun shone brightly, inviting everyone outside. Lily watched Tom and Daisy playing hopscotch in their driveway. Her heart swelled with happiness. Not only did she feel well, but she felt strong enough to join them. She walked outside, a happy skip in her step. "Lily!" Daisy shouted, dropping her chalk and running to give her a hug. "You're outside! Are you feeling better?" Tom grinned, kicking his stone aside. "We missed you so much, Lily. The games aren't as fun without you." Lily beamed. "I feel so much better. Not all the way super-duper fast yet, but strong enough to play." She picked up a piece of chalk. "Can I join? Just for a gentle game of hopscotch?" They played for a while, Lily taking turns and laughing with her friends. She didn't jump as high as before, and she took little rests between rounds, but she was playing. And it felt wonderful. The fresh air, the sunlight, the sound of her friends, happy voices. It was all a gift. Later, as they sat on the curb, catching their breath, Daisy asked, "What happened, Lily? Why were you so tired for so long?" Lily took a deep breath. "Well, my body was really tired and achy. My mom and dad told me about God's special healing rest. They said God cares for us and can make us better." She told them about her simple prayer, asking God for help, and then I had the most amazing dream. Lily continued, her eyes wide as she remembered the beautiful garden and the warm, comforting voice. "The voice told me to rest and trust, and that God makes all things new. It wasn't like a magic trick where I instantly got all better, but every day I felt a little bit stronger. It was like God was gently helping my body heal, little by little." Quote, Tom and Daisy listened carefully. "So God helped you feel better?" Tom asked. "Yes," Lily nodded, a big smile on her face. "He really did. And I'm so thankful. I learned that even when things are hard, God is always there, ready to give us rest and strength in His own time." The sun began to set, painting the sky in fiery oranges and soft purples. Tom and Daisy headed home, waving goodbye to Lily. Lily waved back, a wide, genuine smile on her face. She felt a warmth in her heart that had nothing to do with the setting sun. It was the warmth of health, happiness, and a new kind of understanding. That night, as her mom tucked her into bed, Lily looked up at her. "Mom, I'm really, truly better now, and I know why." "Oh?" her mom asked gently, stroking Lily's hair. "Because God was with me," Lily said, her voice clear and sure. "He gave me His healing rest, just like you and Dad said. Even when I was really tired, He was making me strong. And when I was scared, He gave me peace in my dream." Her mom smiled, her eyes a little misty. "That's exactly right, sweet pea. God is always with us, in our good times and when we feel sick or sad." Lily snuggled deeper into her covers. She knew that life wouldn't always be easy. There might be other times she felt tired or sad or worried, but now she had a secret weapon, a special friend who was always there. She knew she could talk to God anytime, for anything. If she needed rest, He would give it. If she needed strength, He would provide it. If she needed comfort, He would wrap her in His love. She closed her eyes, not with fear of aches or tiredness, but with a happy, peaceful feeling. Her body felt strong, ready for tomorrow's adventures. Her heart felt full of thanks. Lily knew she was healthy, not just because her body felt better, but because her heart was strong with God's love. She drifted off to sleep, dreaming not of gardens this time, but of running and playing, full of energy and joy, knowing that God's caring rest was always there for her, a gentle promise for every single day.